This is example number 3 of the 10A notes. And we're asked to find the missing side length. Okay? So once again, we're going to use the Pythagorean Theorem formula, which is a squared. Whoops. So we're going to go a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And just remember that is the same thing as leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. So again, the first thing that we always want to do is to label our sides. And the sides that make up our right angle here, this is our right angle. These are the legs, okay? Both of these are the legs. This long side opposite our right angle is called the hypotenuse. And we always just abbreviate it HYP, hypotenuse. Now, we've got our sides labeled. Okay, now we want to identify the missing side. Now, it's really important because up until now, our x has gone here. It's been the hypotenuse that was missing. But in this example, it's a leg that's missing. So when we plug our numbers in to our formula, which is leg squared plus leg squared equals hypotenuse squared. Our x is one of our legs, okay? So when we fill this in, we'll put 24 for one of our legs, okay? The other leg measurement is x. We don't know how long the other leg is. Our hypotenuse measures 26. So that's really important. Whether that hypotenuse is a known side or it's our x, it goes on the right by itself, okay? The x goes wherever that missing side length is. And if it's a leg, it's got to go here on the left with the leg measures, okay? So really important to keep that hypotenuse over on the right, whether we know what the length is or not. So the next step, of course, is to simplify our left side. And that means we've got to square this 24. Going to add it to x squared. And that's going to be equal to 26 squared. And of course, when we square something, we just start multiplying it times itself. So guys, on this, you don't need to have a fancy calculator. Just use your simple calculator. You can just square that 24, which is going to give us 576. When we square it, we still are adding that to our x squared, and that's going to be equal to 26 squared, which is 676. Okay, so it's interesting that they're both 76, right? I'm just going to double check my math because that's kind of interesting. Here, this is 26 squared. Okay, that's kind of a fun little pattern there, isn't it, guys? So we've checked our numbers. We're good. Now, how do we solve for x squared? Well, even though our x is over here, we've still got to get rid of this guy. Well, if we were to switch these around, because it doesn't really matter what order they're in when we're adding. 2 plus 5 is the same as 5 plus 2. It's a little easier to see that this is plus 576, right? But even if you don't have it in this order, just remember, if this is positive, okay, we have to do the opposite. And that means we're going to subtract 576 from both sides, okay? to get that x squared by itself, right? So when we do that, we'll get x squared equals, when we subtract that 576 from the 676, what are we going to get? Well, we're going to get x squared, still have that x squared equals 100, okay? But we don't want x squared, we want x. So we're just going to remember that in order to undo that x squared, we're going to take the square root. Always have to do it to both sides. The square root will undo our square, and we'll get x equals the square root of 100. And the square root of 100 is 10. You guys can always try this on the calculator to just check to see if it's a perfect square. So the way that you're going to do that is you're going to just take the square root and see if you get a whole number. If you do, it's a perfect square. We don't want to have decimals, so only use that if you're going to get a whole number. So x equals 10, there's our missing side. And that's our answer. All right, thanks for watching, guys.